Today we want to compare two very different travel guitars to determine, based upon your need, what might be the best choice for you. So stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store link below for custom swag and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. Today, we are comparing two very popular travel guitars. Well, one is arguably the most popular travel guitar, and the upstart that is quickly gaining popularity. We're talking about the Taylor GS Mini. In this case, it's a Koa E version versus Furch's very popular, increasingly popular Little Jane guitar. And really, these are very different guitars in a lot of ways, but there is a question that comes up when you're dealing with travel guitars in general. And for me, I think it's a use case. What do you mean by a travel guitar, and what need do you have? There's a lot of different options out there. There's a lot of different price points that you can get these travel guitars in. And I really think it depends upon kind of how you're going to travel, what you needed to do. Whether it's something like a Martin Backpacker, which is literally probably one of the better guitars for just backpacking, versus air flight, which I think is definitely going to come into play in this video. So,
interestingly enough, the GS Mini and the Little Jane were both on our top 5 bestsellers list of the year.
Yep.
So, yes, it's a little bit cheating because that is combining all of the Little Jane SKUs and all of the GS Mini models, but by far, GS Mini was the top sold guitar at Alamo Music this year. Little Jane came in at number 4, which I think, if you consider every single guitar that we have talked about this year and all the stuff that we didn't talk about, pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
How these shot up to that place on the list. And I think, first off, people are going to be like, well, that's about a $1,500 guitar.
Yes.
And that's about, that one right there is what, $899 right now?
It's $899 right now. It's normally $999. We're filming this at Christmas time, where Taylor has done a $100 discount on all GS Minis. But yeah, this is normally right at about $1,000 with electronics and a bag. And that is around $1,500 with no electronics and a bag.
And is this entry on a Little Jane?
Yeah, so that's the all mahogany, so mahogany top, back, and sides. That is the entry for the Little Jane line, and I think price-wise it goes up next to having a spruce top with mahogany or having the spruce with rosewood, and then of course you can add a LR Bags element pickup to it as an option. So
yeah, and so there are a lot of variations of this, not as many variations as there are of that one.
No, there are so many different GS Minis at this point.
And you get in the door about $500.
Yeah, $499 would be your spruce with sapele back and sides, no pickup with your bag. Again, right now it's $399, but who knows if it's going to stay there. So about $500 gets you a GS Mini. Taylor also still makes the Baby Taylor, but it certainly has given way popularity-wise to the GS Mini. I think with good reason. It's a bigger sound that you get out of the GS Mini. We've kind of talked about it before. So you get an actual neck, an actual heel on this versus the drywall screws holding the neck on the Baby Taylor. And I own a Baby Taylor. It's 24 years old. It still holds up just fine. So those drywall screws are working. But this has a much bigger sound. It's got medium gauge strings. It feels more like a real guitar. Bigger sound hole means you can really get that sound out of the guitar. The bag is really impressive, given that it comes with it. It's really thickly padded, and you get an option for pickup. But what's happened with the GS Mini is the range has continued to grow. And I think if you're talking about a Little Jane or a $499 GS Mini, that's a no-brainer. The $499 GS Mini makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
As these start going up, above this you get into the Plus models, the Rosewood Plus, the GS Mini Koa Plus. You move to full ES2 pickup. You can have an all-gloss body. You go to an aero case, all of these things. But the price is inflating at this point. So then these get closer together. And this is made in Europe. It's all solid wood. And it has a pretty unique trick that goes along with it, which is that the neck comes off.
The neck comes off of both of these.
Well, neck comes off easily on that.
Yeah.
Yes, I can take the neck off of this too. But not for travel.
Not for fun. Yeah.
So, good point. So, bolt-on neck versus, what would you call that? clasped on neck
Yeah,
design.
That's a clip-on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's like a clip-on tie.
yeah, we've shown this before, but if you really wanted to go travel, you can take this guy off, put it in a backpack that it comes with. It's not. Don't just shove it in any backpack.
Just your JanSport. Get in there.
Yeah. And
you got to push it back a little bit.
I
Get the little
know.
hook off.
Keep talking.
Okay, so while he's doing that, so here's the use case for these two. I'm going to compare these two. I want you to hear the sound differences, and I am continually impressed by the sound of the Furch. Now, I think part of this, good job. Now, this neck comes off, the headstock slides off, the neck goes in the body. There's a structure in there to help support that neck. It's lined with this kind of rubber gasket in both the inside and right there. I think this also aids in the sound that you get out of this guitar and helped to generate the new booster sound port that they're making on their Dreadnought guitars. They kind of alluded to this in some of their marketing for the booster sound port that they did, and it's in tune. But I think it came from this. They had this as a functional design so the neck would have a place to go, and lo and behold, having that also allows the guitar to really breathe well and sound fantastic. So it's got a really big sound that's coming out of it, similar in a way that the bigger sound hole in this allows it to breathe more. So the question becomes, one, it's a budgetary question, but two, it's a use case question. If you're just looking for a slightly smaller guitar to have at the office and to kind of take camping and to just like be able to put in your truck or whatever, the GS Mini really serves that purpose well. But if you are specifically looking to travel via airlines, I'm going to tell you, I think you're going to have a hard time fitting this in an overhead compartment most of the time. And I've talked to so many people that buy guitars from us from out of state, and they're traveling on airlines, and they're like, should I check this? First of all, no. Can I fit this on the plane? Maybe they'll let you put it in the closet. Can you put it in the overhead? It depends on how booked the flight is. Southwest in the morning? No. Southwest at 4 in the afternoon? Probably.
Maybe so.
Yeah. So I think when it comes to that, and this isn't the only guitar that has a removable neck. It may be probably one of the best guitars that has the removable neck. This is night and day an improvement when it comes to air travel. I do not have a Little Jane yet. I really want a Little Jane, and you're gonna understand this because you and I have been on these same trips, right? You go on a trip, you're going to a guitar factory, you're going to a trade show, you're gonna be surrounded by guitars. You know what you don't get to do very much of? Play guitar. You're surrounded by it, and then at the end of the day, you get to go back to your hotel, and there's no guitar.
Watch reruns in the dark.
Of Seinfeld
reruns. It's what I do at home anyway, so that's fine. Yeah.
So, I actually really appreciate that you being so much younger than me can have the same pop culture references because you're still watching Seinfeld.
There we go.
Gotta love reruns. So I think it really just depends. If particularly if you're looking at a GS Mini at the upper end of the spectrum, but your primary need for travel is on an airline, the bags for those will hold the entire guitar, and I've tested. A 12-inch iPad Pro fits perfectly fine in the front pocket, along with all of your other stuff. So it becomes your personal item.
Yeah.
You carry it on the plane, you've got your things, and when you get off and you go where you're going, you've got your guitar.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
I will tell you, I've played one acoustic show where I've had to fly for it, and I brought my GS Mini E with me, and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
But 100%, if I had not been able to get into that closet, which I did, it would have not worked, and they would have checked it and thrown it, and it would have made me very upset.
And it really just depends upon like the flight attendants and the airline personnel that you get. Some of them are really great. Shout out to all of the understanding flight attendants that help musicians along, and sometimes you get someone that's not so great or understanding, and they're like, "You're going to check that."
I just got cheated on by a musician. So
who knows?
They're trying to ruin the lives of everyone.
So what ends up happening, I've seen guitars in legit flight cases get totally destroyed. What's that one song that the guy made that Taylor back? It was United Breaks Guitars. And boy, did they. And that was in like a pretty robust case, if I remember that story well. So look, if it's in a gig bag, I would have very low hopes of it being okay if it was checked.
A friend of mine had a D35 in a Calton case, and it was destroyed by JetBlue Airlines,
Look at that.
and they did not give him any compensation for it.
We need to have a conversation with your friend about the juxtaposition of buying a case as expensive as a Colton and flying JetBlue, but that's for another video.
Who's to say?
So, anyways, so that's the use case scenario for these, but they also sound different. Now, these are not the identical woods to compare, but a mahogany top or koa top guitar are going to be pretty similar. This is all mahogany and all solid wood, along with sound ports. So, also, by the way, the dimensions are a little bit different on these. This is a longer scale length, despite the fact that it's a smaller instrument, which I often think it's cool. It's 24-inch scale length, so it feels a little bit more like a full-size guitar. You got your locking tuners, all sorts of cool stuff. So put them through their paces, played both of them, check it out. So there you have it. Could you hear the differences? Now, I will say, we didn't really demonstrate this as I was doing the demo, but when we were preparing and we were checking all of the microphones, I specifically asked Josh, I said, when I strum a chord and I cover this and I uncover it, are the mics picking it up? Because there's a dramatic difference. And he said they were picking it up. So hopefully you can hear that demonstrated through the video. But I think, again, that's part of the beauty of this. Is not only can you hear more, but it just allows the guitar to like really breathe and be more resonant. Side bonus, if you look inside, it's like that meme. The inside of an acoustic guitar looks like a high-end apartment that I couldn't afford. It's just a really well-made guitar. Look, there's no glue push out or anything.
They're great.
So, good job.
I would love Little Jane. I've got a GS Mini. and I love playing it. And I think that if you're in the market for something, yes, it's a little bit more expensive, depending on the GS Mini that you're looking at. A lot of people buy Gold Pluses.
Yes.
A lot of people buy Rosewood Pluses. You're pretty much in the same ballpark. But I can almost guarantee that even outside of traveling, just playing, that becomes a most frequently played guitar. I mean, anytime we got them at the store, people fall in love with them. They're super easy to play. They sound great. But, a good thing about either one of these and other smaller travel guitars is they're also easy to travel around your own home. Keep it by the couch, bring it to your bedroom, bring it to the office, whatever. You're going to play it more because it's really easy to kind of just pick up and jam out.
So fantastic guitars. There's lots of options when it comes to travel guitars. You've got guitars with collapsing necks, removable necks. You've got silent guitars. There's all sorts of stuff. I think at the end of the day, it really depends upon what you need. And so if you're trying to sort through all of that and you're trying to figure out which option is best, that's what we're here for. So make sure you go to our website, which is
alamomusic.com.
You can message us on there. There's a little picture of Cooper's face. It's right there kind of in the bottom. You just click. I don't know why I put your face on there, but we had the photo. I was like, that's the one we're using.
It works.
It works.
It gets clicks.
People just want to punch it with the mouse button all of the time. So you click on Cooper's face and you can message all of us. It's not always Cooper. In fact, it's mostly not Cooper. It's it's me. It's Cooper. It's John. It's Dave. Any one of us. But we will help you find the right guitar to suit your needs. So if you say, hey, I'm looking for a travel guitar, here's my need case or use case, then we'll help you sort through and determine, is it a silent guitar? Is it a Little Jane? Is it a GS Mini? Is Martin your jam? Or do you need the little paddle, the backpacker, so that if you're up the creek, you're still okay? So reach out to us. We'll help you find it. If you're interested in these two guitars, you'll find those listings there as well. And if you're new to our channel, you like this type of content, you should
please subscribe to our channel. We're at 169,000. I want to be at 200,000 by the end of 2025.
All right, you better get to it.
Let's get to it.
We can do that by the end of 2025. That's small potatoes.
Who's to say?
Get it done, everybody.
Yeah.
So as always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.